Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're going to give maybe one more minute for everyone to join, and then we'll do introductions. Okay, I think we are ready. It's about 4 minutes after 10, and I would like to start our SacRT Go and SacRT EVAN open house. As I said, welcome everyone. I appreciate you being here. I would like to introduce the team. So let's go to the next slide. Okay. The SacRT leadership team, I'm going to introduce myself first. I'm the acting ADA compliance officer for RT. I'm new to the team, but not new to SacRT. I've been with RT twice before, and it's my third go around, and I love the agency and the people that I've worked with over the years. I have over 31 years of experience, both in the public and private sectors, and my expertise is in ADA paratransit in that arena. I'd like to open it up to introduce Carmen Alba, who is our VP of Bus Operations, and she's raising her hand. Thank you, Carmen. Dan Tao is our Director, Community and Contract Bus Services. Kathy Sajan is our Paratransit Operations Manager. Charity Oakley is our Transportation Superintendent for SacRT. Welcome, Charity. And then Connie Domus is our Transportation Superintendent for SacRT EVAN. So that's our team today that you'll be hearing from. And what I'd like to do is go to the next slide and just go over the agenda. We've got a pretty full agenda, but certainly there'll be plenty of opportunity to respond to some of the questions that we've received. The Zoom meeting guidelines will be featured in the next slide. We've got a COVID-19 information slide about the extended free ride to get your vaccine. There's a safety reminder, SacRT ADA service map, which is regarding the one-seat ride, service descriptions, fare media, contact information, and then last but not least, our customer service feedback and questions and answers. So with that, let's go to the next slide. And with our Zoom meeting guidelines, there will be a designated time for questions. To ask a question, you can use the chat feature, or you can also ask additional questions after the session. And they can be directed to 916-321-2877, option 3, then option 2. And lastly, the open house session will be streamed afterwards on YouTube and will include closed captioning. Next slide. The COVID-19 information, we just wanted to stress that we do have an extended free ride to get your vaccine. It'll be going through July 31st of 2021. So that is something that if you haven't had your vaccine, this is something that RT is offering to riders, and it's a fantastic way to get your vaccine. Next slide. Another safety reminder. I know we all are familiar with the fact that no mask, no ride, no exceptions. SacRT does require all passengers with respect to age 2 and older to wear a mask for face covering while riding transit. Next slide. I'm now going to turn it over to Dan to talk about the SacRT ADA service map and the one-seat ride. And so I'm going to turn that over to you, Dan, now, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Priscilla. So the slide that we have here is the SacRT Go or SacRT ADA service map. And for our EVAN riders, it will be better known as the one-seat ride for regional paratransit. So what we have here is the map of the entire service. We have all routes, fixed route and smart fixed route and light rail routes, including the Elk Grove fixed routes. We have also a 3/4 mile buffer around these miles to show that there are, to show what the ADA service map is. What this means to riders is that riders from any area that is covered here with the 3/4 mile buffer is able to go to any area that is covered here with that 3/4 mile buffer with one seat. So if you are a rider that lives in Elk Grove that wants to go to, let's say, Citrus Heights, you are able to do that without having to transfer now as of July 1st, July 1, without having to transfer at transfer points like the Consumnes River College. Or if you are a rider who, say, lives in North Sacramento who wants to go down to Elk Grove, it'll be the exact same concept where you will no longer have to transfer at a transfer point like Consumnes River College or at the Target down in South Sacramento. Excuse me. So this next slide is a service descriptions for the services that we provide with SacRT Go and SacRT eVan. The first one is the FTA paratransit 3/4 mile requirement. It is a complimentary paratransit service. Is service provided to origins and destinations within corridors with a width of 3/4 of a mile on each side of each fixed route. As I said earlier, this is a requirement set forth by the Federal Transportation Administration. Next is the SacRT Go ADA trip. This is a trip that has the origin and destination of these trips residing within 3/4 of a mile of an active SacRT fixed route or light rail station. Next is the SacRT Go non-ADA trip. The origin or destination of these trips resides within the identified non-ADA SAC service area, which is an above and beyond to the ADA paratransit requirement. This is a Consolidated Transportation Service Agency, CTSA service boundary. And finally, the SacRT eVan trip operates Monday through Saturday. There are trips that are available while Elk Grove fixed routes are running, and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. The next slide is a slide that is going over the fare media. And so just to make this a little bit more simpler to everybody, I'm just going to go identify the fare media and then what service that it will be available for. So for the first one, we have the single ride one-way trip. It is a SacRT Go ADA trip, or for SacRT Go ADA trip, it is $5. For the SacRT Go non-ADA trip, it is $5. And then for a SacRT eVan trip, it is $3.50. A companion for SacRT Go ADA is $5. SacRT Go non-ADA is $5. And for a SacRT eVan trip, it is $3.50. Personal care attendance, or otherwise known as a PCA, is free on SacRT Go ADA. It is free for SacRT Go non-ADA. And then for the SacRT eVan trip, it is also free. Children under the age of 5, for SacRT Go ADA trip, it is free. For the SacRT Go non-ADA trip, it is free. And finally, for the SacRT Go eVan trip, it is also free. The 10 ride pass for SacRT Go ADA, it is not applicable. It is not available for SacRT Go ADA. It is also not applicable for the SacRT Go non-ADA trip. And it is $35 for the SacRT eVan trip. The 44 ride pass for SacRT Go ADA, it is not applicable. For SacRT Go non-ADA, it is not applicable. And then for SacRT eVan trip, it is $150. And finally, the ADA 60 ride monthly pass for SacRT Go ADA trip, it is $137.50. For SacRT Go non-ADA trip, it is not applicable. And then for the SacRT Go eVan trip, it is also not applicable. Next up, we have a slide that will be going over the contact information come July 1. For those of you who are residing within the city of Elk Grove and are an active rider or has at least been an active rider for the last 3 years, you should have received this postcard. And I'm just going to go over the back of this postcard. So in the title at the top, it says SacRT annexation of Elk Grove Transit Services begins July 1, 2021. New contact information beginning Thursday, July 1, 2021. For customer service, including eVan and Elk Grove Bus, the phone number is going to change to 916-321-BUSS, BUSS, or 321-2877, option 3. The hours of operations for customer service is Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. For eVan reservations, the phone number will be changing to 916-321-2877, option 4. from Monday to Sunday, it will be from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then for ADA certifications, for those of you who are going to be needing to get the eligibility to ride paratransit, to ride SacRT Go and SacRT eVan, the phone number is 916-321-2877, option 2, then option 1. The office is open from Mondays through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's a website also link down below. And if you would like more information, the link is visit sacrt.com/Elk Grove Transit, all one word, for more information. So finally, this comes to the customer service feedback and questions and answers. I will give this back to Priscilla, and I believe Priscilla has a few questions that are already available to us that has been asked. So Priscilla?
Yes, thank you, Dan. Great job. Yes, I do have some of the more frequently asked questions that I'd like to ask Dan, and you can respond. I'm currently an eVan rider. Do you plan to change your hours of operation, and will I be riding SacRT Go or eVan?
So there will be no changes to the hours of operations for eVan. If your trip is within the city limits of Elk Grove, your trip will be provided by SacRT eVan and will fall under the SacRT eVan fare structure. If your origin or destination is outside the city of Elk Grove, the trip will be provided by SacRT Go and will fall under the SacRT Go fare structure.
Thanks, Dan. Next question is, do I have to recertify my eligibility to ride SacRT Go if I currently ride eVan?
SacRT will grandfather all eligibility of eVan riders to the SacRT Go service. There will be no need to recertify unless your eligibility has already expired.
Great, thank you, Dan. How can I purchase fare?
Fares can be purchased at our customer service office at 1225 R Street. Also, fares can be purchased over the phone at 916-321-2877.
And Dan, how early can I ride?
So the SacRT Go ADA service is available while a regular fixed route or light rail service line is running. ADA service is within 3/4 miles of an active fixed route or light rail run. And the ADA service, it is operable, as I said, because it is within the 3/4 miles of a fixed route or light rail run. It may be as early as 3:30 in the morning or as late as 12:30 at night. The times I'm using are general, however, because 3:30 in the morning is when the first light rail runs, which is the gold line, and then 12:30 at night is when the last light rail stops, which is the blue line. Specific rides are maybe different, and to get a better question and better answer according to those specific rides, I will invite you to call 916-321-2877, option 2 and option 2.
Great, thank you, Dan. Would you explain the pickup window for SacRT Go?
So when you call to reserve your ride, you will be given a 30-minute pickup window in which the vehicle will arrive. You will need to be ready at the beginning of your pickup window. So for example, if your negotiated ready time is 8 a.m., for SacRT Go, your 30-minute pickup window is 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. You will need to be ready to board at 8 a.m. And by being ready when your vehicle arrives, you will help keep everyone's trip on schedule. For SacRT eVan, we are retaining the -15 to +15 pickup window, which means that if your pickup negotiated time is at 8 a.m., the vehicle may arrive anytime between 7:45 to 8:15.
Thanks, Dan. How about the policies? Will any policies change?
So the simple answer is no. SacRT has determined the policies related to ADA paratransit service. All policies will be in effect the same day of transition. For the policies for the eVan services, the policies will remain as is for the foreseeable future. The only changes that our eVan riders may see are the changes that come with SacRT Go for the regional trips. And some of those changes are identified as the 30-minute rule, but for the most part, everything is fairly similar. All riders will also be receiving a SacRT Go Rider's Guide within the next month or so.
Thanks, Dan. I think you already covered this, but the question was, what number do I call to book a trip for SacRT Go?
Thank you. Yes, I did. But just to go over it again, the phone number is 916-321-2877, option 2, then select option 2 again to get to the reservations for SacRT Go.
Thank you. A couple more questions that I have here. One is, are you working on an app for SacRT Go?
We are actually working on an app. The app itself is undergoing testing, and we hope to have it available soon.
Wonderful. And then last question that I have is, when we purchase ride tickets, are they available to use that same day?
When you purchase tickets at customer service, the tickets are valid immediately. If you call and purchase tickets with your credit card, you would have to wait until you receive the tickets in the mail. If you purchase a monthly 60 ride pass, it will be valid immediately, allowing you to ride fixed route, smart ride, and light rail at no extra cost. This would be for, again, the 60 ride pass, which is the $137.50.
Thanks, Dan. Well, at this point, that's the number of questions that I had to ask that are frequently asked, and not sure if I don't see anything in the chat at this point. Do we have any questions to go through chat that anyone is interested in providing? And if not, as you can see in this last slide, there are ways to provide your feedback and questions and answers. So feel free to call the number that's, oh, let me see, we've got some questions now in chat. The number that's listed there, but let me just check the chat here. Will you be sending this information so I can give to my staff? And that's April Dawson.
So this information, this particular session, as well as the session this evening at 6 p.m. is going to be on our SacRT. It's going to be posted on our SacRT website, along with the questions that are asked, so that everyone can see it. The website will be up as early as next week.
Great. And it looks like Irma has a question. I have an E-Tran pass, good for 44 rides. Is it valid? They are for my ride going to dialysis center.
Yes, all current rides that are being used currently right now, all passes that are being used currently right now will be valid come 7/1 and will remain valid.
Wonderful. I don't see any other questions at this point.
So there were some other questions that came in yesterday. I apologize for going off script a little bit, Priscilla.
That's fine.
One particular questions that came in yesterday regarding if a location is going to be available for service come July 1. Some of these particular locations, if it is within the city of Elk Grove city limits, the rider will still be using Elk Grove eVan. If it goes outside of the city limits, that's when the rider will be using SacRT Go. So the particular question that came in yesterday, just for the sake of privacy, I won't be saying the addresses. However, the question that came in was regarding 2 specific addresses. And although we had called and spoken to that rider, I do wanted to share with everyone that if you have any questions regarding particular addresses, you are more than welcome to call our reservations line, and our reservationists will be more than happy to help you to answer some of those questions. But to put it plain and simply, however, if the ride falls outside of the city limits of Elk Grove, then SacRT Go Paratransit should be able to provide that service to you. And if it again falls within the city of Elk Grove, then SacRT eVan will be providing that service to you.
Thank you. Before I ask the next question that's in chat, I see that Givona Payne has her hand up. And I'm not sure whether or not there's a question that can be asked through chat, but I do see a hand up.
So Giovanna Payne, I am going to ask you to use the chat feature. It is also going to help us when we are compiling the questions so that we can make sure that we capture the question as you ask, so that we can provide an appropriate answer either right now or later when after the session.
Thanks, Dan. I'll pay attention to that. And the additional question from Irma is, do I need to make a reservation or whatever scheduled I had at eTran is considered valid? Can I use my Connect card? I'm sorry, that's a separate question from Austin.
So the answer to the first question is any rides that are currently scheduled with EVAN will remain with EVAN. You should experience really no change at EVAN. The only big change that may happen is the different phone number. However, you should experience no change in the level of service that you're being provided. And by level of service, I mean nothing is going to be taken from you. For rides going outside of the city limits, you will need to schedule that with our SacRT Go service. And if you are currently already doing those transfers at the CRC or at other transfer points, one thing that we will do is make sure to look at your rides and see about scheduling those rides appropriately with the appropriate service provider. So currently, as of right now, because SacRT Go does not provide rides or did not schedule rides until 2 days out, as opposed to the 14 days out that, as opposed to the days that is with EVAN. When you schedule those rides, we'll be sure to make sure that we ask the appropriate question of, should you be scheduling it with EVAN or with SacRT Go? And also to make that easier, our reservationists on both sides will be working with you to make sure that we get to the appropriate location. So you wouldn't have to do more work. We will try to work around that for you.
Okay, it looks like we have a response from Mike Costa saying, Dan, just to confirm, the EVAN 10 ride and or 44 ride pass will only work on the EVAN service in Elk Grove, not on SacRT Go paratransit, correct?
That is correct, Mike. The 10-day and 44 ride are only valid for Elk Grove. Similarly, the 137, 50, 60 ride 88 pass are only valid for SacRT Go service. So if you are a SacRT Go / Elk Grove rider, that 137.50 will not be valid for EVAN, but will be valid for Go. And the 10 ride and 44 ride will be valid for EVAN, but will not be valid for Go. And to get more information on this, we have this posted on our website as well. We'll be sure to make sure that it is accessible so that if you are to go to the website, you will be able to better understand it. And of course, if you have questions, you are more than welcome to call our customer service line at 916-321-2877, option 3, then option 0.
Thanks, Dan. I have a question from Austin. Can I use my Connect card?
So for both services, for SacRT Go and EVAN, SacRT is actively looking for alternative electronic fare methods for the SacRT Go service, being mindful of accessibility. Currently, Connect card is not available for the service.
Okay. Irma has a question. Will there be any changes with the fare I'm having when my pass has reached its limit?
So the fare changes are only for the specific service that you are riding. If you are riding both services, the only change that you'll experience is the 2-seat ride to the 1-seat ride, having to pay the $17 for 2-seat rides, as opposed to now you're going to be paying $5 for a 1-seat ride, $10, I'm sorry, for a 1-seat ride. If you are an EVAN rider, again, the fare remains $3.50. If you are riding local only within EVAN, you will not experience that increase in fare to ride regional. If you are riding regionally, the fare, although the fare has increased to $5 for you, it really does mean that if you are a regional rider, you are not, as it is right now, paying the $17 for the round trip, as opposed to now you are paying $5 for the round trip. This will be in effect as of July 1st, 2021.
Thanks, Dan. Another question. This is from Giovanna. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly. Can I use my EVAN pass in SacRT Go? And you might have already answered this question.
Unfortunately, Giovanna, the EVAN fare would not be valid for SacRT Go. The EVAN fare will only be valid for the EVAN rides. And again, those EVAN rides are local to the city of Elk Grove city limits.
Thank you, Dan. You've been a wealth of knowledge here. I don't see any other questions currently in the chat. Anyone else have any additional questions to ask? Not seeing anything. I know we're still pretty good with time. It's almost 10:30.
So a couple of things that I'll add while we're waiting for questions to come in, if they do come in, is that if you have any additional questions after this session, of course, this session itself is going to be posted online on our website and on YouTube. If you have the questions afterwards, you're more than welcome to call 916-321-2877, option 3, then option 0. Our customer service agents are more than happy to receive the questions for you and send them over to our transition staff and our paratransit staff to be able to answer and make sure that we get them on our website for you. If it's a question that you would like to speak with us personally, we have staff that are able to answer directly to you, but we would like to get those questions and share them with the rest of our riders so that other people may be helped if they're not able to answer that question. Also, I would like to add that after this session, after these open house sessions today, the first one again is this 10 a.m. session and the 6 p.m. session this evening, we will have a feedback section on a feedback section on our website where if you have questions, you can ask there, and our web team will provide us those questions and share those questions online as well, and those answers to those questions online.
Great. Thank you. It looks like we're getting a couple more questions in, Dan. Irma is asking, so buying pass with EVAN and SacRT Go is different. When you want to use the bus EVAN or E-Tran, it will be a different pass. When I want to use the regional transit, that's a different pass too.
So that is correct. And I've moved the slides back to the Fair Media slides. So what the statement said is correct, that when you are riding EVAN, it is a lower fare for the local rides. It remains at $3.50 for a single ride trip. And then if you are doing the regional trip, that is where you will have to use you have to pay the $5. If you have the cash, then cash fare is of course available. However, there are also other methods where you can purchase a single ride ticket to use for the SacRT Go 88 trips, or you can also use the 88 60 ride monthly pass to use for those trips. And one thing that I would like to share is that that 60 ride monthly pass, although it's $137.50, if for those regional trips, if you do go into Sacramento frequently and you use all 60 rides for the calendar month, it does equate down to $2.37. So $2.30 about. So if you frequently come into Sacramento, it is a cheaper ride for you, and it may be the direction that you might want to take. And if you have questions regarding it, you're more than welcome again to call our customer service line or our reservation lines, and we'll happily work with you and walk you through what you need to do to be able to make those trips.
Thanks, Dan. It looks like Irma has another question. Will the dialysis center I go to know these changes about the rides?
The dialysis center, for the most part, there will be no functional differences with the rides. If you are currently going into the dialysis center and to dialysis centers in Elk Grove, then it'll be the same as you've always done, where you're riding the EVAN trip. If you are going to other dialysis centers within the Sacramento region, then you'll be showing up in a SacRT Go vehicle. For the most part, when rides are being scheduled, those rides are being scheduled with you or whoever is scheduling the rides with you and a reservationist. So the dialysis center, if a vehicle shows up that is not a vehicle that needs to be there, of course, the driver and the dispatchers can communicate with the dialysis center to make sure that you get on the correct vehicle and not be taken to places that you are not supposed to be taken to.
Thanks, Dan. All right, so far I don't see any other questions in chat. We are still good with time. Is there anything else, Dan, that we can share? Shall we give it a few more minutes to see if other folks have any questions to post to chat?
Yeah, so at this time, I'll invite Mike Costa, the current transportation manager for the City of Elk Grove E-Tran and E-Van service, to comment on any remarks that he may want to comment on. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Dan, and good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you to Dan and Priscilla for a great job at hosting this workshop. I think it was very informative. We are happy to assist SacRT in these annexation transitional efforts. The great thing is I think SacRT is well prepared and set up, being that they've operated our service for over 2 years now, or almost 2 years, I should say, that they are ready to take over the E-Van service, and we don't anticipate any issues with that. Dan, I did add just one more clarifying question, and I know that you did go over this, but I kind of want to just reiterate this, that the current E-Van service that provides direct service to medical centers in South Sacramento, is that going to remain, or do passengers using E-Van have to use SacRT Go for South Sacramento Medical Center services?
So all services as it is right now will remain as is come July 1. So if you are writing E-Van services to those medical facilities in South Sacramento, those rides will remain with E-Van.
Great. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for anyone on the phone, so I appreciate that. But again, we just want to say thank you to SacRT's transition team for all of your efforts in helping with this process. We are also here to help here in the city of Elk Grove, at least through June 30th. If you do have any questions, you can contact us, but I would encourage people listening to this webinar to also start using the 916-321-2877 phone number. That would give you also some great customer service. But with that, I have no further questions and no further statements. Thank you again for a great informative webinar.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
You too,
Thank you.
Priscilla.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Dan.
So one thing that I'll add, I think I'm going to steal your thunder here, Priscilla, is that the link to submit questions is now live on sacrt.com/elkgrovetransit. So if you go to that link, you can submit questions online, or you can submit questions after this session to 916-321-2877, option 3, then option 0.
Okay. Any other questions? I think I don't have anything else in the chat at the moment. Any other questions from anyone?
So while we're waiting for questions, I am actually going to go to that website so that I can share with everyone who is using the Zoom app how it would look like so that they are able to ask questions. For those of you who are calling in through the phone, again, the URL for this link is sacrt.com/elkgrovetransit. And if you were to go all the way down to the bottom, it is, oh, sorry, let me make sure that I'm sharing my screen. Let me share, here it is. It is at So here, this is the landing page. If you would get here, it will show Elko Transit Services, a picture of the EVAN buses. And if you scroll down to where the Zoom links are, there is a header called, let me make this just slightly bigger so everyone who are here who sees this can see. There will be a header called Elk Grove Transit Services EVAN Virtual Open Houses. At the bottom, there is a section, submit your questions online, https://www.surveymonkey.com/r/th8yf3c. Of course, that's the URL that is assigned to it. However, if you just click on the link, it will take you to a simple landing page where you can type your question. It will be submitted to our marketing team, and our marketing will provide it to us so that we are better able to answer your questions and respond to the questions on our website.
That's great, Dan. Thank you for that. Hopefully everybody will take advantage of that option to submit questions. I'm not seeing anything else in chat at the moment.
So I am clicking way too fast. I apologize. All of these questions and all of these answers, as well as questions and answers asked after these sessions, will be posted online on our website, and we'll be sure to make sure that our marketing team also communicates through our communication channel so that everyone can see. As I said, these videos will be posted on our website. These sessions will be posted on our website. If you had further questions that you wanted to clarify with these sessions, and these should be posted by the end of middle to end of next week.
Okay. Well, again, I don't see any additional questions in chat, and thank you, Dan, very much for your information and wealth of knowledge with this opportunity that we're moving forward with. I think we can wrap up, and thank you all for being on this, involved in this open house, and we look forward to being able to respond to any additional questions that you may have. Anything else that you wanted to add, Dan, before we close it up?
I think I don't actually. Thank you, Priscilla, for hosting this session. And as Priscilla said, I'm just reiterating, if you have questions, please communicate that to us either via our website or our phone number, 916-321-2877, option 3, then option 0. These again will be posted, and there will be another session this afternoon, this evening at 6 p.m. If you would like to, you're more than happy to come and participate in this session this evening. These same questions, the frequently asked questions will be provided, but we may get other questions from other writers this evening that might help you as well. So you again are invited to the next session this evening at 6 p.m. The link is in our website, and it is the same link that we are using currently for this session. So
yeah, and I just wanted to stress, Irma is saying thank you so much for the information. It's been good to know we ADA will be taken care of.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Irma. All right. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you as well, Priscilla. And
okay.
thank you everyone else.
Have a good rest of the day.